Today I'm going to show you the basics of how to use the pen tool and the node tool in Affinity Designer. And if you stick around until the very end, I'll give you an Affinity Designer bonus tip. Let's get started. Hey everybody! Today I'm going to show you the basics of how to use the pen tool and the node tool in Affinity Designer. If you haven't already, you may want to go to the Affinity website and download the trial version of Affinity Designer so that you can follow along with this tutorial. This trial version will work on a Mac or a Windows computer. I've put the link in the description below if you need to take a minute to go download it. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you how to select the pen tool. You can either come over here and click on it with your move tool, or you can just press the P key on your keyboard. If you need to navigate around your page while you have the pen tool selected, just press the space bar and it'll turn into a hand and you can move your page around. Then when you let go of the mouse and let go of the space bar, it turns back into your pen tool. So to begin your drawing, you can just click to create a node. If you need to create a node in a straight line, you can hold the shift key and it'll constrain your pen tool to a horizontal or a vertical or a 45-degree angle so that when you click to make your next node, it keeps it in a straight line. Next, if you click and drag, you'll drag out these handles to create a curved node. And again, if you hold down the shift key, it'll constrain your handles to 45-degree angles. Next, if you click and drag out the handles and you need to make a sharp turn, if you press the Option key, that will break your handles so you can move this handle to create a sharp turn. So when you click to make your next node, you see that it makes a sharp turn there. If you take your pen tool and click back on this node and drag out, you'll create new handles. If you have a square node like this and you need to drag out one handle, if you hold the Option key, click and drag, it'll drag out one handle. And again, if you hold down the shift key, it'll constrain it to 45-degree angles. Next, if you click and drag and then you decide you need to move that node somewhere else before you let go, hold the space bar down and you can move the node. So we can move it down here, let go of the space bar. If that's still not right, just press the space bar again. And you can just continue to move it around by holding down the space bar. Once you release the space bar, it'll anchor itself there, and then you can let go with your mouse. Alright, if you have a node here and you have two handles, but you need to get rid of one handle, just hold down the Option key and click on that handle and it'll move that handle inside the box. So it'll create a sharp corner there. If you have a round node and you need to create a corner node, if you Option click on the node, it'll create a square node, which is a corner node. If you want to convert this back to a rounded node, just click and pull the handles back out. And if you need to adjust the handles, you can. If you hold down Option, you can break that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go over, switching back and forth between your node tool and your pen tool, and we're going to use modifier keys to do that. Okay, so if we have this node with the two handles, if we hold Command, we can move it. We can adjust the handles. And then if we need to make a sharp curve while we're holding Command and while we're holding the mouse button, if we add the Option key, that'll break the handles so that we can make a sharp corner. If you release the Option key before you release the mouse key, it'll go back. So you want to make sure you release the mouse button and then your two modifier keys so it'll lock that in. If you need to add a node to a line, press the Command key and hover over the line until you get that little squiggly below the arrow, and then click on the line to insert a node. If you want to adjust a line without adding a node, hold the Command key down, click and hold on the line once you get the little squiggly, and then just bend the line whichever way you want to move it, and then release the mouse when you have the curve where you want it. So if you command click, you'll add a node. If you command click and hold, you can move that line without adding a node. If you need to delete a node, just hold command and click on it, and then hit the delete key on your keyboard to delete it. If you need to move the node but you want the handles to stay where they are, just command click on the node to select it, and then hold down control command and then click on the node, and when you drag it, it'll move the node but the handles will stay anchored in place. So those are the basics of using the pen tool and using the node tool. And one more thing is, if you're drawing a line and you want to stop drawing a line, if you press the escape key, then it'll stop drawing that line and you can start drawing a new line. So if I draw this line, I hit escape, then it'll stop drawing that line and it'll start a new one. Okay, if you need to start drawing from this line again, hold down command and click on that node. You can click on this node or you can click on this node. Whichever one you click on, that's where you're going to start drawing again. So if I click on this bottom one, then I can just keep drawing from that bottom node. If I hit escape again, that'll deselect that one. If I want to continue drawing on this first line, I can command click on the line and then command click on that node and then just start drawing again from that node. And then if I want to connect them, I can come here, I'll get that little O and I can click here to connect those together, and now this is all one big shape. If I need to connect these two lines together, I can command click on that line, and while I'm holding command click on that node, and then while I'm still holding down command, I want to add the shift key and click on this line to add that to my selection. And then I'm going to come up here to where it says action, and you'll see there's a break curve, close curve, smooth curve, join curves, and reverse curves. So what we want to do is join the curve. So we'll click that action button and it'll join those together. Okay, let me click back on that line, and let's say we want to join this node and this node. Let me just click on it and bring it down here a little closer. Okay, so let's say we want to join this node and this node. We already connected it right here using the join curves. So if we command click on this node and then shift command click on this node to select both of them, if we try to come up here to join curves again, you'll see if I click on it, nothing happens. What we need to do in this case is come over here to where it says close curve and click that to close that curve. So if we have two lines we want to join, we can join 2 points using the join curves, but in order to close the curve, we have to use the close curve button here. Now, if we want to break this apart, if I select this node and I want to break that apart, I'll just command click on that, come up here to the action and break curve. Now when I command click and drag, you can see those are broken apart. And like I said, since these are already connected, we can't use the join curves. If we want to connect these back together, we'll have to use the close curve. So we'll just click, command click on that one, shift command click on that one, come up here to close curve, connect them back together. So the best thing to do to learn the pen tool and the node tool is to just get the pen tool and just start practicing. Learn those modifier keys, because that'll help you a lot. Okay, so let's use what we just learned. We'll just do like a little drawing here. I've got this little drawing of a horse, and you can see it's real pixelated. So if this was a logo that a customer had given you and they asked you if you could redraw it, you know, so it would print better or cut better if you were doing vinyl or a t-shirt or whatever, then you could use these skills to redraw this. And I'm just using this logo as an example. Just make sure if your customer wants you to redraw a logo that they have permission to use the logo, so there's no copyright issues or anything. Alright, so let's click on our pen tool, and we have this set up. I'm going to click on that layer, and I'm just going to lock that layer. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to make a layer above that. So I'm going to grab my pen tool and I'm just going to start drawing. I'm going to click here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to hold down Command. I'm just going to pull that line up. Try to match that curve as much as I can. Then I can grab my handles and just fit that in there. I can hold Command and move that point around. Now if I have snapping turned on, you see it keeps snapping to that line. If I need to turn off snapping temporarily, if I hold down the Option key while I'm doing that, it temporarily turns off snapping so that I can put that right where I want it. Let me adjust that a little bit. I want to drag a handle out here, so I'm just going to Option, click, and drag out a handle. Then I'm going to come here and click. Hold Option to break that. And then we can just adjust these handles using the Command key. Then I need to break this, so I'm just going to hold down Command, Option, and break that handle. Come up here, get that lined up, hold Option to break that. Now I'm going to come down here, click, drag. I'm going to hold Command, come up here and adjust that handle. I'm going to hold Command and Option to break that one. Come up here, get that curve in there. Hold Command, adjust this one. While I'm holding Command, I'm going to adjust that one. Now I want to get rid of this handle, so I'm just going to Option click on that to get rid of the handle. I'm just going to click back on here to close that. And I kind of made a mess there, so I'm just going to hold Command, click, Option, drag that back up. And now we have that piece done. You can fill that in with the color. And now we can see we're a little bit off, and we can go back and we can, click on these and adjust these a little more so that you can get them, as accurate as possible. But since we're just doing this right quick, I'm not going to worry about it too much. And then as far as these, just grab your pen tool. So if you're trying to draw a line and it keeps snapping, if you just hold down Option, it'll temporarily turn off the snap, and you can click there, drag out your handle, and then just continue on with your drawing. And what you can do is you can just draw these out and just roughly draw it out, and then come back in and adjust these so you can fine tune the curves and everything. And sometimes if you put a node there and you can't really get that, you can move the node a little bit so you can get that straight edge, and then you can just pull this handle out to get that curve. And that's probably the hardest thing to learn in this kind of program is how to adjust your curves. And all I can say is it just takes a lot of practice. So that's the best thing to do with a vector-based program, is just practice and practice and practice. So the more you practice, the faster you'll get, the better you'll get. Whoops, I don't want a stroke on that. So anyway, and then you can just keep drawing the rest of these, but you get the idea. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that, how to use those skills that we just learned. But anyway, I guess that's about it. But yeah, I had a bonus tip I wanted to show y'all. So your toolbar here on the left, you have all your tools. You have your move tool, your node tool, your corner tool, pen tool, and all that. And I think they're probably in a different order if you open this program brand new. I know these two text tools are in a little pop-up menu, but I just moved them out separately, so I can just click on one or the other without having to use the little pop-out menu. So if you want to customize your toolbar here, just go to View, come down to Customize Tools, and you'll open up this little panel, and then you can move your tools around wherever you want them to be. And it has a little spacer right here if you want to put spacers in between, like sets. Like I have my 2 pointer tools and I have a little spacer. Then I have my corner tool, my pen tool, my brush and my pencil, and I have a little spacer. I have my 2 text tools and a spacer, my color tools and a spacer, my shape tools and a spacer, and then just the other miscellaneous tools down here. So you can add in whatever you want. If you want to reorder them, if you like having the pop-up one better, you can use this one with the little arrow here. So that way when you click on it, you can choose between these two. But like I said, I just like to have them separate so I can just reach over and click one or the other. And I just noticed that there's a new shape tool here that's not in this menu. It's this little cat. I'm just going to add it on there. And also another thing you can do is, by default you have 1 column of tools. If you look down here at the bottom, you can change like the number of columns you want. If you want 2 columns, if you want 8 columns, you know, and it'll just rearrange your tools however you want to do them. And if you ever want to go back to the original factory default, you can just hit the reset button and it'll go back. And then once you get this the way you want it, just click close, and there you have it. And then we can check out this cat. That's pretty funny. I never noticed there was a cat graphic in there, but I guess that's maybe something new they added because I don't remember seeing that before. But anyway, that's my little bonus tip, is just how to customize your toolbar there. So I guess that's about it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. If you like this video, please share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure you click the little bell icon and turn on notifications so you'll know when I upload new videos. And if you want to follow me on social media, all of the links are in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.